Welcome to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. Are you a goofball that loves Giants football? If so, sit back and relax as we talk about the team that both excites and frustrates us so much. And now, here are your goofball hosts, Drew and Rob.
Welcome, fellow goofballs, to Two Giant Goofballs, New York Giants podcast. I am Drew, joined as always by...
I'm Rob, calling some games a little better than Drew this week.
We'll see. The week's not over yet, buddy. Let's not get all cocky here, but I'm still up. So
I can't talk at all.
All right, guys. Well, we got a whole lot of stuff to go over here with you guys because, listen, we talked about it in the post-game show. This was a big loss we had yesterday against the Eagles. With big games come big news. So we got all kinds of news to go over with you. We got players being called out for their efforts. We got one being injured. We have two players going to be the active roster to talk about here. We got potential changes in the lineup. We got potential changes that should happen in the lineup that aren't happening for some unknown reason that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. We got all kinds of news to go over, guys. So let's go right into it here with talking about a guy that we kind of have to talk about a little bit here, but I don't want to continue talking about. So let's get him done right off the bat. Let's talk about it. Saquon Barkley reacting to the booing, because that's a big thing all last week about the fact that he's going to get booed. He didn't think he was going to get booed. Yes, he got booed every single time he touched the ball. He was asked about it. He said it's kind of hard not to hear that. I think I didn't help myself when I said earlier this week I didn't think I was going to get booed, but they're booing for a reason. It's a compliment at the end of the day. That's how I look at it. It's not a compliment. They don't like you.
I mean,
let's be honest.
I understand I understand what he's trying to say. It hurts because also look at the talent that he is that we don't have anymore. Yep. Right? We could have had a couple more wins if we had like a Barkley on our team. But we don't. We could have been a contender. But then again, at the same time, we also would have had a nice offensive line, shiny new toy, which.
Yeah, I mean, part of the issue is I don't know if he's complaining what he's doing now, but let's be honest, guys. If he was a Giant, he wouldn't be doing that.
No. Well,
he wouldn't be doing it.
If he's behind that offensive line, maybe.
With our running game at that point, too, on top of that, just in general. We ran the ball 4 times in that game.
You're right. I mean, obviously, it's way different from the play calling of the last few years with this coaching staff, because the last couple of years, what have we done? Ran almost every single snap.
Yep.
Which they've been trying to get away from. So, yeah. You could say, would he be doing that with the play call now?
Well, it really didn't do it the last couple of years with the Giants in general either, though. I mean, let's be honest here. I do still think he slowed down a little bit. I'm not trying to disrespect the guy who just whooped our butts. I'm just being honest, my assessment of it. But I do also think that he's benefiting from the blocking schemes and everything going on in Philadelphia, where people like Swift, who's actually disappeared this year, look very good. You got what's his name? Other Penn State running back they had that went to the Carolina Panthers. Drawing a blank here.
But
Scott. He got a massive deal to go to the Panthers at that point, and then they thought about really cutting him this year because that's how bad he was last year. That's this thing is he's in a system that makes running backs, and he's a player that didn't need to get made. Miles Sanders, I had to look it up real quick. Miles Sanders, that's what I was thinking of.
Yes.
But he's in a system now that makes them when he already had talent to begin with. So of course he's going to look freaking amazing.
Of course.
Doesn't mean he got better as a player. It just means he has a better blocking scheme. He has a better blocking abilities in front of him, all that kind of stuff there. So, I don't know. I still don't think it's as big a loss. Maybe I'm crazy. I'm crazy.
No, you're not crazy, because also at the same time, look at our offensive line for the past his whole career as a Giant. Yep. What was the best ranked offensive line you played against? The 25th in the NFL?
We'll play for you, probably around there.
So, now you're playing with the top 10 offensive line.
Yeah.
In the ballpark.
He looks better all of a sudden, randomly.
Yeah.
Almost
but
like
here,
like the blocking.
But let's also wait for this. Like, once again, like, and I hate to wish ill on someone, but he has an injury bug.
Yep.
So let's praise this guy and let him get hurt in week 14 when you're trying to go to the playoffs. Yeah. He's not there for important games.
I don't think this is a compliment. I think he's looking at it wrong. It's not a compliment. It's a show of we feel, and I mean we, like me and Rob, because we don't feel disrespected by the whole thing. We couldn't care less where he went. But we as a fan base feel disrespected. That's all it is. He also said he found it crazy to see fans burning his jerseys in the parking lot. I gotta agree with him on that. Like, really, like burning his jersey in the parking lot, like this has been a while, guys. Now, like, you're supposed to have some time to tone down. Like, yeah,
there's those people that probably had Barkley jerseys that burned it on the internet and said, "I'm buying another one just to burn it at his first first MetLife game."
Yeah, I mean,
there's definitely sick people out there like that.
It's. I feel like Tinder should be like taking like video files of like who's doing that and like just go ahead and do face recognition, just boot them off the sites. I couldn't imagine that they happen with a bad breakup in a relationship. If they're that way over a running back leaving for another team, like seriously, that's nothing crazy. Saquon also talked about the booing as well for Daniel Jones because listen, they're buddies. They actually were in contact after he signed with the Eagles still and everything. Seemed pretty friendly after the game and all. He said the boos for him suck too. Fans don't get it. They give us a hard time. We know sometimes the games don't go the way we would like, but he works his, I'll say gluteus maximus, but he said a different word that starts with A, off, and he'll do anything for the organization to try to win a Super Bowl. And likewise, when I was here, they're a good team, and sometimes games aren't going to go the way they want to go. And I know the fans are over it and the fans are tired of the BS and same old stuff. But it's sad because these guys who don't care in this league, that's right, but because there's guys who don't care in this league and there's guys who do care. And he's one of those guys. So it sucks to see that. I don't think anybody's really questioning Daniel Jones's drive and his work ethic. I don't think that's ever been questioned, guys. And if I am, it's hard for me to say that if I was Daniel Jones, because how do you not take it personal? You're going to get booed at your home stadium. Like it's hard not to take that personal. But if I'm someone like Barkley looking as an outsider looking in, to me, the boos are really not an indictment on Jones as much as an indictment on this front office for allowing him to be the quarterback for a 6th year with nobody to compete with him. Because that's why Jones pisses me off when I see him on the field. It's not because it's Jones. It's because it's a failed quarterback that we're stuck with for multiple years.
There's definitely that. Let's be like real. Like, listen, if you're in the tri-state area, like, and you're the losing quarterback, like, you can still be having a good game. But if your team's losing and like you're not doing the extra drive, we're a salty crowd. Like, you're gonna get booed. Like, you need tough skin to be in this market.
We're definitely a what have you done for me lately kind of market too.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks ago, we're talking, oh, maybe he's not so bad after all. Now we want to kill him. Well, not really.
Yeah.
We want to kill him, but we want to bench him. You know. I got to be careful now. We have people burning jerseys. Who knows what's next?
Oh, jeez. Hopefully not their car.
Yeah, but it's like, you can't blame the fans. And again, I don't think it's as much a thing against Jones. Here's the weird thing. I don't think the fan base, even the ones who don't like Jones as the quarterback, and maybe it's just because this is kind of how I feel and I'm just kind of projecting this to the whole fan base. People can let me know in the comments if I'm crazy. I don't think the fans hate Jones. They're just frustrated with him. There is a difference.
Yeah.
Like the Cleveland fans, you heard them applauding when Deshaun Watson got injured. They hate him.
Yeah, well, I mean,
hey, don't be wrong. If Jones got injured, some of the fans might applaud. I hate to say it.
I don't know if they would applaud. I think that might go too far.
They applauded when Drew Lock got hurt after making one bad pass in the preseason.
I think it's a little, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I won't put it past the fan base. I hope nobody would. It's kind of classless in my mind, but that's just a segment of the population will do that. It's not all the fans, but it's enough of a segment that you hear it in the stadium. So, like I said, I think that's where the frustration comes from. So he's got to figure that one out. As Deb says, the ones who waited outside for Jones a few weeks ago were haters. Exactly. Well, honestly, there was haters, but there's also the one guy who wanted to be a social media star.
Yeah.
He thought he'd be a star by doing that. No, we all hated you for that because it was classless. Exactly, Anthony says, I agree. I don't hate the guy, just wish he wasn't our quarterback. And I think the boo of Locke was because they wanted DeVito, not justifying, just saying. And I'll tell you right now, I want DeVito now. I want DeVito right now.
Yeah.
I think DeVito should be the quarterback going forward. We'll talk about that part in a minute here. Before we get into that, let's talk about a guy who got called out for lack of effort here. Deonte Banks. Not the guy you want having a lack of effort. Not that you want anybody on your roster having a lack of effort. Don't get me wrong. But your number one corner, your first round pick from the previous season, is one of the last people you want to see be a guy called out for lack of effort. That's bad. But he definitely appeared to be taking off plays late in the game. The most obvious one, there was a big scramble, and it was Matthew Adams, the usual special teamer who happened to be on defense, ran right up the middle and was unblocked and got right to Hurts. Hurts got out of it and went for a scramble. And when he did that, Deonte Banks seemed to kind of slow down as he got closer to him, trying to avoid the hit. And that's the big obvious one. There's a couple other plays as well. You can question it, but I hate to question some people's work ethic on specific plays because it's hard to do that on each individual play because you don't know what they were supposed to be doing in that play. But that one was so blatantly obvious, it's not even funny. You rewatch it, it's so blatantly obvious. And, Daboll was asked about it. He said, we'll take a look at all that stuff and whatever we need to address, we'll address. But the guys are putting an effort into it each and every week. We're just unfortunately not getting the results. It's a results business. He says, I'm not going to get into the sideline or coaching part of it, but none of it was good enough today. I'll leave it at that. Yeah. I mean, I get why he's dodging the question. I really do. But I feel like this is a potential turning point for Daboll this season. This is the first time you had a player not willing to play hard for Daboll. I mean, there was the questions on Adoree Jackson last year, too, as well. But Adoree Jackson's always been a very iffy effort as far as run tackling and stuff like that. I mean,
you knew that when you got
call him out, but yeah, we're going to call it out like it is. Banks hadn't been up until now. That's the difference. And if you let somebody start getting that kind of lack of effort to be an accepted thing that happens, that can spread throughout your team really quickly, guys.
That's bonfire really right quickly. There.
Yeah, you do not want that kind of bonfire, guys. That is not the one you're making s'mores on. That's the one you're getting pink slips on.
Yes.
And that's the first time I've said pink slip and Brian Daboll on the show, which tells you a lot about how much I think that's that major of a move.
But let's not jump the gun yet and get crazy.
I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying that's the kind of thing that if it starts to spread, then that does happen. Because you can look past a bad team not winning when the effort is there, when the basics are there, when stuff like that is there. But if you start seeing
we got another
losing the locker room,
especially when you have another 10 weeks of football left.
Well, it's also especially when you're probably bringing in a brand new quarterback and stuff this offseason, and you want to have some continuity for the next guy. He goes on to say, no one was happy about the result. I think we have a strong group. We need to have a strong group in this league. There's a lot of ups and downs. Unfortunately, we've had more downs, but our guys will come back, we'll regroup, and we'll do everything we possibly can like we do each week to be at our best on Monday night. Which is just scary to hear, by the way, guys, because we all know Daniel Jones' primetime record. Yeah. Not to ruin our pick show already for next week. He doesn't do good in primetime. Deonte Banks was also asked about. He said, and this was specifically the play I talked about. This is the one where Jalen Hurts was scrambling after almost getting sacked by Matthew Adams. He said, I really just thought he was going to slide or whatever, but it was a bad play by me, bad effort by me. I think I could have made it. I play this game because I love this blank. Sometimes you get frustrated out there when blank not going your way. That's me just letting the emotions get the best of me. Yeah. I mean, he kind of called himself out a little bit on the effort part by saying that.
So then you have to like also sit there and think like, was he really like pulling the punches? Because, if you will, because he thinks, he should pull the punches just because he's upset, or was that true? Was his statement true? Did he think Hurts was going to slide? Because that's another thing too. Like, think about like the whole sliding thing and roughing the passer. If they don't go feet first, and if they go feet first,
it was okay to hit him because he was already in the positive. It wasn't a roughing the passer kind of scenario at that point. There's no pass being done. Scrambling is an active runner. So
you're right, but as soon as you go into the slide as a quarterback, you cannot be touched. So I can get that.
Yeah, but he hadn't gone to a slide yet.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's if you think it's going to happen. That's what I'm saying. Like he says he thinks he thought he was going to go to the slide, and he didn't get aggressive.
Yeah, and you can make the case that well maybe he thought he was going to go out of bounds because that's a possibility. I feel like we look at this as fans in slow motion, like, oh, I can see this is how it played out. Like, no, why don't you watch it live from a helmet view and see if you can figure out what's going on?
Yeah, and especially like these guys. Like, I don't know, like Drew, how fast you used to run?
Not very at all.
Yeah,
I ran the fastest when there was ice cream around.
Me too. I did a 6-minute mile to catch an ice cream truck.
Oh god, I broke 8
minutes
once ever, and
that was also about
the best thing ever.
50-something pounds ago.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying these guys are way faster. Like 6-minute mile is pretty fast, but like even like a 7-minute mile, 8-minute mile, like that's pretty fast, especially long distance. But when you start talking about these guys that are running 4.4 and a 40, like things are happening really fast.
I might run a 14.4. But my whole thing is he brought up the word effort, which makes me think that it is an effort issue. And I'd love to be able to sit here and be like, oh, this is the advice of what I would do if I was Brian Daboll. I don't think that's fair for us to do because we don't know these guys personally. Anybody who's ever been in any kind of management role, I mean, that's what being the head coach is. You're a manager, basically.
The GM.
You have to know. Well, not the GM. He's he's the manager like that. It's like the store manager, basically, if this was like a retail job kind of thing, But it's like you have to know people's personalities to know how to address them to fix these kind of issues. So it's impossible to give any kind of advice as much as I'd love to say, okay, this is what I would do this there. I don't know, because I don't know what Banks' personality is really like. I just know what he shows in front of the microphone. But I will say this, again, you let this spread, that's going to be an issue. You let this spread, and you're looking at Mike Kafka being the coach by the end of the year.
Ooh.
I don't know who they give it to. I don't think they give it to Bowen, but I just think this.
Well, you got to figure it this way. Our offense has not been high powered in quite some time, but our defense has been pretty well. And everyone thought this defense wouldn't work with that wink, but this defense has played way better.
Yep.
Not arguably, but it has played way better with that wink.
Yeah, 100%.
So you look at that, and especially in the NFL, what have you done for me recently? Best man for the job, best person for the job. So,
yeah, I just don't see him doing it for a guy who's really a first year being a full-time defensive coordinator because he was really under Rabel before that. I don't know how much I want to count that. He learned from him, obviously. He's doing well. I'm not trying to knock the guy. I'm just saying he doesn't necessarily have the experience. Mike Kafka has been somebody who's been interviewed for multiple head coaching positions. He's a guy that's respected in the league like that. But hopefully we don't have to worry about this. This conversation's for
respected enough to get an interview. Not so much respected enough to get a head coach.
How many interviews does shit going had?
Well, just like you said, obviously he has.
This
is the first time. I hear what you're saying, but also when you're an offensive coordinator that's applying for promotion, has not gotten that promotion, and then your duties as an offensive coordinator gets taken away from you because an inept offense of your job happening.
That's working out well.
Listen,
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Are we better or worse than last year?
Calling it like it is. All right. Let's talk about another thing that happened that I think is getting blown way out of proportion, and it's Malik Neighbors talking to the media after the game. And this is the quote that he's getting killed for. I mean, I was open. And, I think there's this mentality with receivers that they're very much brash, overly outspoken, overly flashy, me mentality. And I think whenever you see a receiver who is a little bit flashy, Neighbors got a little flash to him, that
a little bit of flair.
People assume that about their personality types. And that's one thing I always hate about, and listen, it's not a lot I feel bad for people that are celebrities and stuff like that. But that's one thing I do is we assume things about them. Like, oh, I know them like this because I'm a big fan. I know this because I know that. And this, we don't know Jack. We don't know anything about these people. Unless they've been with the team for a while and we have enough of a base to kind of figure out, and enough people that have met them and got to know them and stuff like that. But a guy like Neighbors has been here, for months. Nobody knows him.
No.
So here's the whole thing he said. And this is what ticks me off, and this I don't like about the media when they say this kind of stuff. Because everybody's focusing, I mean, I was open. Okay, yeah. I get it. He's frustrated. He should be frustrated. If you're not frustrated as fans, then you're not really that hardcore of a fan. I'll put it that way after this game. You think that he wasn't frustrated as a player? It's the guy who's put in the work to make that not happen? He's got to be fuming, guys. Absolutely freaking fuming. So here's what else he said that I don't see being reported nearly as much. He said, it was very difficult out there. We got to do a better job of making plays and protecting the quarterback and trying to do our best to score points. Our defense was doing a hell of a job, playing a good game, but it's hard when you're going 3 and out, and when they get back in the field, they're tired. We got to give our defense some time to take some breathers, so when they get back out there, they're playing at a high level. That's a very mature, very correct statement. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the media is focusing on 5 words. I mean, I was open. But that fits the narrative of what they want to put on him. That's what it boils down to. It fits the narrative. There's a lot more to this. That's 5 words out of the 70 I probably just said there.
Yeah.
Everything else was right. And you can't blame the guy for being frustrated when he sees his team lose like that and get shut out with no catches this whole second half of the game. Of course he's going to get frustrated, especially when he feels like he was open. Sucks when you feel like you're doing your job and people around you are not succeeding at their job, and that's impacting your performance. That's going to be the scenario. Yeah.
Yeah. You ever worked with someone that on a project who was a loaf and didn't do their part, and you had a cat,
I had a co-host like that one time.
Oh, yeah. Where do you go? Yeah.
But no, I mean, we've all worked with that guy who just didn't pull his weight. And now instead of it being a guy who doesn't pull his weight, it's a whole side of the ball, guys.
Yeah.
Like, that's frustrating. And I applaud Neighbors, who, again, keep in mind, he's 21 years old. He's still a kid, basically. And for him to sit there and recognize that, and to call that out publicly, and to acknowledge it publicly, like basically saying, my bad to the defense. That's maturity. That's what I want to see, because that shows leadership skills. And that's what this team really needs right now if Daboll's not going to lose his locker room.
100%.
So,
because everyone's also had that leader too. They may have not have said the best words out there. They may not have phrased everything properly. But everyone rallied around them because they knew that silly person meant right and will do the right thing by the team, by their employees or the team, if you will.
Yep.
100%. That's what it kind of seems like. Hey, listen, it wasn't 100% my fault why I didn't catch balls. I was open. But as a whole, we're making the defense stay out there way too long.
Yeah.
Kind of let's stay away from it.
Yeah,
he's kind of pushing blame off himself a little bit, but yeah.
He did a little bit at the beginning. I get it. But
yeah,
again, to focus on 5 words when everything else he said was so right and so mature is absolutely insane to me. Absolutely insane. All right. Let's get into another wide receiver here we got to talk about. Who's got a little
crack into it.
I think we both made different puns. Jalen Hyatt has got a cracked rib, guys. It happened on the deep throw he had by Drew Lock late in the game. See, Drew Lock's barely in the game and already messes up one of our receivers. Yeah. This is what Jalen Hyatt said about it. He said, it's been quite a bit of adversity, but I've been through adversity before. I know how to bounce back from it. Everything looks bad right now, but I've been in this situation before in my career playing football. I know I'll turn it around and be better. I just know how my confidence is, where it's at. I'm still the most confident guy. It's going to turn around. That's one thing I'm not worried about. It will turn around. And that's because, guys, it's a big blow when you've had a cruddy start, guys. Think about it. We're 7 games in. Like one more week, you can say we're almost like we're basically at the halfway point, basically. And he's got one catch. Yeah. If you asked Jalen Hyatt how his season was going to go, that's probably not what he was anticipating. On the interesting side, though, he has the same number of receptions this year as he has cracked ribs now. He smashed it.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's expected to lose some time. We just don't know how long, or, it's not really known. But to be honest, maybe this isn't the worst thing for him, because a bruised rib is not that you heal up. It just hurts when you're breathing and all that kind of stuff there. And obviously,
no big deal.
Running long routes is going to be a huff and puff kind of thing at that point. But you're not going to be seeing the issues of like, okay, is this going to affect him long term, or is this going to keep him out for quite a while? Maybe him taking a step back for a week or two isn't the worst thing. 2 reasons. 1, mental reset. He needs a mental reset, guys. Number 2, hopefully he'll have a different quarterback when he gets back.
I mean, there's a lot of strong possibilities right there.
It's a lot. It's very, very strong possibilities, those ones. We'll get to the quarterback talking a little bit here, but I mean, it's a very strong possibility. And it's like I said, sometimes that's what you need, is take the step back before you take a step forward. Because you keep on trying to take it when you're already in that mindset, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how that works for him. But I think that actually could be a positive for him. Whereas it sounds to be a positive to be injured, I could see that being a positive for him. Just take a step back, reassess everything, maybe focus on spending the next week or 2 watching film and seeing different things he's doing that is working, different things he's doing that's not working, that kind of stuff, and try to improve his game like that. Because it's not he's not getting snaps. The snaps are there. He could just easily watch film and learn that kind of stuff than taking a bunch of snaps where he gets no catches whatsoever. In the long term, the first one probably is going to help him more.
I mean, his last snap definitely didn't help that snap.
No, it definitely didn't. But at least he got thrown at the ball, too. And it wasn't underthrown. It was just slightly overthrown. Actually, it was very close. Like, that would have been a really nice catch. Like, if he was, like, just one step further down.
Yes.
It would have happened. I mean, it was in his hands. You can make the claim he should have caught it because it was in his hands. But I'll give him like a 50-50. Like half that's on him and half that's on Locke for not being quite so perfect.
Well, it's Drew Lock. What do you expect?
Not much. Anyway, speaking of quarterbacks, let's still talk about the quarterback. Guess what, guys? We talked about it in the show yesterday, and now we got a chance to go over with you with the comments. Daniel Jones is still the starter.
Oh, jeez.
Why?
That's my guy, man.
Yeah. I got to say, when you look at the way Daboll talks about him now, though, it's definitely different, guys. it's definitely there's a difference in how he's talking about Daniel Jones than he did just even a few weeks ago. And you can see that he's definitely frustrated, I think.
He's like, damn, this guy's going to cost me my job.
Basically, that's kind of like Daboll comes up to the podium and it's just all over his face second talking about Daniel Jones. So here's the comments he said. He said, we're talking about the offense. He said, just not good enough all the way around. It's hard to generate points when your longest play is 14 yards. Yeah. Then he starts talking about Daniel Jones with weapons around him. He says, we have guys around him that can create explosive plays. We'll go back to the drawing board and do the very best we can. That's a very telling statement, guys. There's not that difficult level of reading between those lines. That's not difficult at all. And
he's like, hey, DJ, read between these lines here.
Yeah, that's basically what he just did. And yeah, I think that's definitely the end is near kind of statement. It should already be here, but the end is definitely near. Last afternoon, I'm sorry, with the Eagles against the Eagles there, he was 14 of 21, 99 yards, guys. Didn't even crack 100 yards. It wasn't like he was pulled out in the first quarter.
You know what's terrible is that Barkley now has more touchdowns in MetLife Stadium than Daniel Jones.
And I think the stat was like almost 2 years since he sort of got a touchdown at MetLife Stadium. It's bad, guys, and it's bad, and it's time. And we talked about it in the show last night, so I don't want to harp too much on the stuff we said, but again, there's no benefit to keeping Daniel Jones in. You don't plan on keeping him. There's an injury guarantee clause. The season is over, at least as far as playoff aspirations. We should be moving on. It should be DeVito time. It should be, let's see. And again, I'm not saying DeVito is going to be great, guys, but I want to see if DeVito develops into a legitimate backup in this league. And the only way you can find that out is by handing him the ball and seeing if he's somebody you feel confident as your backup quarterback next year, potentially. So you have that as an option.
Probably snap him the ball instead of hand him the ball.
Yeah.
Put him under center.
I mean, what I would love is put DeVito in there, find out what he really is, because we got a little bit of a taste of DeVito, and there were some mixed results there. But give him a chance. Let him play out the year, basically, unless he just absolutely embarrasses himself. And then next year, there's an option. Hey, I can bring DeVito as a backup, and I can go ahead and draft a starter. Or, hey, I can go ahead and trade or sign a veteran and then draft somebody, and maybe DeVito is, back to
where he's at now,
or whatever at that point. And there's no loss. There's no bad option in this. So, yeah. I think, honestly,
he could only impress where he comes back, like you said, becomes the backup next year.
Yeah.
He could be like the backup to a bridge quarterback, or potentially like getting someone in the draft, depending on what's out there. Because we still have to break down the QB room for college.
Yeah, and we'll probably be breaking down the college quarterbacks as bye week, the way things are going. So maybe instead of doing the game preview, we'll do the quarterback preview show. But
it's not funny because it's true.
People talk about having a veteran in the room and blah blah blah. Guys, there's already a veteran who's in the building nonstop. His name is Eli Manning.
I think he's got a couple rings too.
Yeah, I know he's not playing, but if you don't think he would take a quarterback under his wing in a heartbeat and teach him stuff, then you're crazy. Eli loves his franchise. Eli loves being around this franchise. If you notice, he's at almost every single game he can be. I mean, he was there yesterday. I think he would take that role in a heartbeat. Not that it helped for Daniel Jones very much, but it's there. It's there. So, all right. Said we wouldn't harp on it. We're not going to harp on it. We're going to do instead. We're going to pay the bills.
Enjoying the show? Looking for more goofball action? Consider a membership at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Memberships start at just $5 and give you additional goofball access. One-time support payments also available starting at just $3. buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs.
All righty. And of course, as always, if you want to support the show, you can do so also with a super chat comment or also sending stars on Facebook as well. And of course, guys, if you guys are big Giant fans, which I got to imagine if you're on the show, you're watching us here, you must be, and you want to get all the latest, greatest Giants news, rumors, everything going on today with the New York Giants, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, guys. We do 3 shows at least a week, if not 4 during the season, which is what we've been doing lately. And like I said, we go over literally way too much if you ask me. We do it anyway. We give way too much, but it's like, did you hear that Daniel Jones changed his toothbrush today? No. Like stalker level info. All right, let's get into the next one here, guys. So the next thing we have to talk about is some roster moves we got going on. We talked last week about Armon Watts being added to the practice squad. Well, today he was officially added here on Monday to the active roster. There was a couple of teams that made moves today in anticipation of blocking other teams who wanted players off of practice squads. This was ours. So I'm kind of intrigued by this. We talked about this guy a little bit last week. So again, if you want to learn more about him, go onto our page, search for him there. But the big thing for me is that, again, he's a guy who was on the streets because he got injured. And it was an injury settlement that he had. It wasn't a guy who couldn't hack it. The Patriots just didn't want to cover him while he was injured. And they decided to cut base, with him at that point. And there was a couple other teams who wanted him, including the Steelers that were about to play this upcoming week, who we played for last year as well. So, it's nice that we got a guy that other people want. Now it's just a matter of can he help? Because he is a big body. He does play primarily nose tackle, which obviously we have the best nose tackle in all of football. So I don't think he's going to get a lot of playing time that way. But can this guy be a guy we bring in and help in the run stop? That's the big thing for us right now. Because we can't stop the run with anything. Even me and my 14-4 40 time probably could run against the New York Football Giants defense.
A little bit.
Saying. It's not been a good year for stopping the run. So stopping the pass.
When was the last time it was?
The quarterback, the best team in football at it. But stopping the run, that's been an issue. So, like I said, Armon Watts is officially on the active roster. We also signed somebody on Friday. We haven't got a chance to talk to him about him yet because, we haven't had anything but the game here. So, Giants signed offensive tackle Chris Hubbard, which the name probably rings a bell for you guys here because he has been around the league for quite some time, So a 13-year career overall. He is 6'4", 295 pounds, 33 years old now. In his career, 94 games, 58 starts. So legit long career at that point there, guys. Started 9 games, all starts there, like I said, with the Tennessee Titans at right tackle last year before he had a biceps injury that ended his season. He did have a 69 PFF grade last year playing right tackle. Now, I will just point this out, guys. That would have been the second highest number on the Giants roster at the line. Only Andrew Thomas got in the 70s last year. So, yeah, not a bad signing, guys. He's a former Steeler, former Brown, and he was just sitting there on the 49ers practice squad, which I find weird. Like, the Niners do not have a good line, guys. That's the one thing that really gets me. Like they have trouble protecting, Brock Purdy this season.
Yeah, he's got a lot of pressure. I have to look into why.
That's the way that scares me. 33. Did he take a dive from last year there because he's starting to hit that age? I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to sit there and know that because the only people who know that are going to be people who are not even 49ers fans, but 49ers beat writers and, office personnel, the people that actually been able to watch the practices and see what he's done. But yeah, I think it's a very intriguing pickup though. We needed a guy who could come in and play the position. Now we have one that may fit that bill. We're going to find out if he can fit the bill potentially at some point, but right now we can say it that way. He may fit the bill. So
possibly.
Let's talk about that tackle position, though, because we got some change potentially coming here, guys. So Daboll talked about it here today on Monday with the press conference. He said, when asked about a potential change at the left tackle position, he said, we'll have that discussion here. We've watched the tape. We're not there yet. I thought that early on there was a couple of plays in there, one off a jam and another one that could have been better. I think he settled in. It was his first time playing, so there's some things he did better as the game went on and made some improvements, and we'll see where we're at here. First off, his first time playing, the guy has played multiple years. First time playing this season? Yes, you could say that. I don't see why that'd be relevant. You played before. It's not like something big changed this season. Oh my God, the position is so much different.
It's been a whole year.
We started what, 6 games, I want to say, last year at left tackle? Like, he's played it before.
Yeah.
Played it horribly before. Okay.
So we are. Hey.
Yeah, he was asked about it too. Josh Suda said, I started off horrible. I was just overthinking and self-doubting myself as the day went on. I had to get out of my own head. I know I'm better. I know I've gotten way better, and I've got to get out there and play. I know my coaches have faith in me, and my teammates have faith in me. I just have to continue to have faith in myself and not overthink stuff. I don't know about you guys, but that sounds like a guy who was overthinking.
Yeah, there's a lot of
my coaches have faith in me. My teammates have faith in me. I just have to continue to have faith in me. There's a lot of faith things going on right there. Like when you repeat things over and over again, unless it's like your catchphrase. Like everybody has their catchphrases they say over and over again. Like you said, like me, Rob. But I'm saying, like, everybody has their catchphrases. That doesn't sound like a catchphrase. That guy sounds like a nervous guy. No, I will say to his defense, though, he probably doesn't talk that closely, that often to a room full of media, though. I mean, he's an NFL player. He still has media, but he's not going to get the hype that, like, a game's over. Daniel Jones has, like, no wiggle room whatsoever. He's surrounded by reporters. Josh Zudu, sit back, scratch himself, go take a shower, come back out, maybe get 1 or 2 people, ask him 1 or 2 questions real quick.
Maybe go back in, take a shower.
It's a lot of showers. What's going on with the showers here? But yeah, I mean, I think that's part of it potentially, but honestly, that answer kind of worried me. It gave there. I didn't like the way he played overall. I thought that the whole offensive line looked much worse. And I don't want to put all of that on him, but he is the one thing that changed. So it's fair to throw some of it as a potential for one of the big drops. Now, we talked about the fact that we just got, at that point, Chris Hubbard. So, I mean, either the options are Giants stay where they're at, put Josh Uzudu in at left tackle. My personal opinion is they'll do it one more time and see if it gets better. But there will be a leash, though. And I think the backup option is to put Jermaine Illuminor over at left tackle and then go ahead and put Evan Neal or Chris Hubbard at right tackle. Either one. Let them both fight it out as far as I'm concerned, but they'll probably give it to Neal. My personal opinion there. So, but
yeah, sadly.
We'll see what happens. See how things shake out there. So, alrighty, guys. Let's get into our recap of week 7.
Week 7.
Week 7.
Oh yeah.
Snap new Slim Jim.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't know why I'm going all Macho Man on this. What you gonna do, brother?
Oh, when the whole thing. Yeah.
Oh God.
All drop the Mondo leg.
All right. Let's get into the actual game here, guys. All right. So as usual, Rob and I will alternate back and forth. We'll give you guys all the scores here going on for the week and let you know how Rob and I did with our own picks in there. Of course, Rob is already smiling because he is currently beating me we'll see how this plays out with the last 2 games here tonight. But Rob is beating me. So I'll give you guys real quick going into the week. I was up 169 to 157. So I had a 12-point lead heading into this week here.
You had a good week last week too.
At least we both had good weeks last week. We both really, I mean, I just had a really crazy week at that point where usually most weeks that would have got you a win.
Usually,
yeah.
I mean, for some new listeners out there, but every time we do a straight up pick, a spread pick, trifecta, over under, you get a point.
1 point.
So there's 1 point. So like when we talk about a 12-point difference over 7 weeks, we're really talking about like we missed 7 little 12 things.
You and I always do pretty close, and except for who knows what happened the first year. The first year, no one knows unless they go back and listen.
Yeah, I blew you out, Drew. You just deleted all the notes. I know.
Okay, I know better. Anyway, started off, Rob. Thursday night. You had the Broncos going into Nolans. Nolans.
Well, the Saints were the favorite in this game. And they marched right out of New Orleans because they got stomped. They got stampeded by the Broncos, who won 33-10 against the Saints. Woo. They put a shellacking.
Woo. Who would have thought that the Broncos would put up the 3rd most points? Or 4th most points, actually, I should say.
Thus far.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, how do we do pick-wise?
Oh, sorry, I had to pull it up there real fast. Sorry.
Oh, unprepared.
So, Drew,
be prepared
you won.
For the
challenge. I won straight up. Drew, you followed my Broncos pick, so we both won the spread pick. And when it comes to the over-under, we both lost there.
Yeah, we both had under. Who would have thought? The scoring machine Broncos. Yeah,
33 by the Broncos, which means there's only 4 points needed by the Saints. So, yeah. We done goofed there.
Not cool. All right, next up in London.
Chip, Jaleo.
Chips and all, God save the king. The Patriots lost big time. So Jaguars win 32-16 there, guys. And listen, at this point, London is basically home for the Jaguars. They have, 2 games a year there. So, yeah, it's kind of an unfair advantage. I have a lot of people that don't like it. It's like, oh, it's not fair to the Jaguars fans. Think about it. They get such an unfair advantage because they're so used to doing this travel that, like, nobody else is used to doing, basically, on a consistent basis.
Yeah, all right, that's what we do. Drink a couple pints at 5 and go to bed by 6.
Shrewd move. So let's see. I had the Jags to win. I get the point there. You had the Patriots to win, so you did not get the point. But I had the Patriots to beat the spread of 5.5 points, which they did not clearly. And you had the Jags to beat the spread. So yeah, you get your point there. We get alternating points. And we both got the over on that one there. So we both get 2 points in that game.
Yeah. Good game there.
Yes.
All right. Up next, you had the Battle of the Birds. It was like driving down a turnpike.
Everybody heard about the bird. The bird.
Go down the turnpike. Just the birds everywhere. Just 2 birds. Anyway, the Seahawks being hosted by the Atlanta
bird.
Yeah. The Falcons were good enough.
Peter Griffin fighting a chicken right now through the streets.
Yeah. The Falcons giving up 3 points in this game, and the over-under in this bad boy was 51 points. So we both took the Falcons to win. We both took the Falcons to spread in the spread. And you took the over, I took the under, and that was the only thing.
Only point we got. Either one of us. Yeah. You're 1 point for over on that one. Or for under. That's it. Oh my God. That was a bad game for us. That was a bad one there.
Woof.
Not as bad as it was for the Tennessee Titans, though, who lost to the Bills 34-10. Ouch. Bills won. We both had that, so we both get a point for that. I actually picked the Titans to beat the spread. It was a 9.5 point spread, guys. The biggest spread
Pretty rich.
entire week. So I was like, let's help. Let's go for it. Nope. The Bills did their thing, which you had picked. So therefore, you got your point there. But we both had I had the under, so I didn't get the point there. You had the over, so you got the trifecta on that one. Meanwhile, I just got my one measly point. Boo.
Woof.
Woof indeed. Woof indeed.
Woof indeed. Well, next you had the Super Bowl of Ohio over here. You had the Bengals.
They get the golden corn husk.
Bengals going into the Browns.
Don't say Bengals. Next, Roethlisberger comes out of retirement.
And Deshaun Watson's right behind him. Anyway, the Browns.
I brought the motion.
The Browns had a 5.5 point handicap there. That the home team was was given the 5.5 points there, and the over under, which is a pretty low scoring one, not the lowest of the week, but you had 41.5 points in that over under. We both think the Browns are going to the Super Bowl. By the Super Bowl, we mean the toilet. Yeah. So we picked the Bengals to win this game. We both picked the Bengals in the spread. And then the difference here is you took the under, I took the over, gives you a trifecta.
Oh, I just realized I gave you a trifecta by accident on this whole thing. Let's take that point away. Take that point away, good sir.
You son of a cheating.
Cheating, I was helping you. Person. I was helping you. That's not cheating at that point. Anyway, we got the Titans at the Packers, which we said was going to be one of the better games this week, and it definitely turned out to be such.
Yes.
Packers win 24-22. Let's see here. You and I both had Packers to win, so we get our win there. We had the I messed up a couple of times here, it looks like. So we had the Packers we picked as a spread pick. They didn't get it by half a point. So there goes that one for us there. But we were right on the over under at that point. We had the hold on. I'm in the wrong spot here. What did I just do? I just messed up here.
You messed everything up. All right, so the Packers win 24-22. Drew, can't take it anywhere. So Packers obviously win. We both get that point there. 2.5 point spread.
There we go.
Guess what? We both took the Packers to win, which we lose because they only won by 2 points. So, woof, they should have won by 3.
My first day, guys. Sorry.
And the over under, Drew, you took the under, which guess what? 46 total points in this game gave you the under, and I took the over, thinking it was going to be closer to 50. Both teams.
You were close.
27.
But no cigar, good sir. No good song.
No.
Just smoking.
Only counts in horseshoes.
We care about your health. All right.
Good times.
Next up.
Up next, you had the Dolphins.
Juggernauts.
Oh, woof. Woof. You had the Dolphins going into Indianapolis, and the Colts were the 3-point favorites in this game. The over-under in this game was 43.5 points. You know what happens to this game? The under.
Yep.
Colts win at home 16-10. Dolphins did have a 7-0 lead early on in this game, but
and they said Tua is practicing this week, so maybe things will get better for them, at least till his next concussion.
Yeah.
He also scoffed at the idea of wearing a Guardian helmet, by the way. He was asked that point blank in the interview. And, someone put this in the comments section, and I feel it's kind of cruel to say it, but I'm going to say it because I kind of agree with it to a certain degree now. Like, how much have we been talking about, oh, my God, I feel so bad for Tua. Oh, they need to protect Tua. And there's Tua. I'm not going to wear her Guardian helmet. Maybe we should stop caring about Tua more than Tua cares about Tua.
I mean, also the man's been concussed 3 times in the past.
I understand
2
that.
years.
I'm saying,
so maybe his brain's not functioning 100%.
I'm just saying,
I know what you mean. He may have had a different answer 3 years ago. But when you go, hey, we're on for breakfast over easy, sunny side up, extra scrambled. That's what he's getting served right now. Extra scrambled at the Waffle House. Yep. So 16-10, Colts win. Gives Drew and I both a win there. We both took the Colts and spread, give them the win. We both took the under, which gave us the trifecta.
Both of us trifecta, dual trifecta.
I'm pretty sure that was the game of the week. Oh,
I don't know.
Ooh, saucy.
Yeah, we did call it the game of the week. We did say we both agreed. We thought that was an amazing spread. Like it was a great way to go, and yeah, worked out in our favor. That's for sure. Here's the game we definitely differed on, and it was probably the most exciting game to watch out there, and that's the Lions and the Vikings there. Lions score a last-minute field goal to take the lead and win at 31-29. So, Rob, you picked the Lions to win and to beat the spread there. It's only a 1.5-point spread, so you got your wins there. And then you also picked the over, so you got a point there. So you went ahead and got the trifecta. As I'm making mistakes left and right here in this thing, I'm like, good thing we're going through the sheet here. Woo.
Yeah, don't be taking my point away from me.
I took my point away from me that I shouldn't have had.
Yeah.
I'm playing fair. But yeah, so yeah, you got a trifecta and I had a zero factor on that one. Sheesh, that was
big old goose egg.
That was a bad game for me. Bad game. Speaking of bad games, Rob, what's next?
Good segue, because you had the Eagles being hosted by the
scooters here.
G-Men. Yeah, the scooters. Giants were giving up 3 points in this game, which is crazy. The
Eagles gave up 3 points.
Well, I'm sorry. They were the Giants.
No, I'm just making a score joke. It was a score joke. Over
under was 43.5 points. Well, I got excited. Malik Neighbors is coming back. I thought maybe after a horrible week, DJ bounces back. We don't have to beat it in the head to recap this game, because if you guys really want to know what happens, just watch the last episode we did. We did the last night.
We'll cry.
Fantastic. We'll all cry together. But Drew, you picked the Eagles, gives you the win. I picked the Giants. We both picked the Giants in the spread, which leaves you still up 1 point. But what we did is we both took the under, which gives us to each a point apiece. Drew, you went 2-1 in this pick.
If there was a safe pick to make, it was definitely the under on that game. That's for damn.
Yes.
All righty. Next up, we got the Rams at the Raiders. Rams won in a very close match there, 20-15, in what it was a very, very boring game here. The Rams were giving up 6.5 points, though. So we said, hey, that seems a bit much. So we both picked the Rams to win. We both picked the Raiders to beat the spread, and we were right on that one. The difference in this game, though, was we also got the unders. Trifecta's all around. Trifecta's all around. Oh! We need like one of those like silly string machines there, you know?
It was like birthday cake things. Well, let's talk about a game that was just slacking.
You know what I can do, though? You know what I can do?
What are you doing?
Well, up next, you had the Commander.
Let me have too much fun with the soundboard.
Yeah, that's hey, take that away. That's what I like during this game I'm about to talk about, because you had the Commanders hosting Carolina. Carolina was given 8 points in this game, which is the second most. Which is the second most this week. And once again, I beat it, the dead horse, big time. This year, it's been the average of 5.5 points. You see the more that you should bet, the person, the team that's, giving those points. But my God, 8 points against. They could put 18 points, and you still would have won this game. It's terrible. And
down.
Yeah, and 51.5 points was on your over-under. Well, guess what? The Commanders they were at home. They put up 40 points to Andy Dalton's wonderful 7 points.
Yeah.
And
bad Andy Dalton.
Defense, the offense, and special teams as well. They all decided to put up touchdowns in this game, didn't they?
Everybody gets a touchdown. You get a touchdown.
It was like Oprah. Except if you play for Carolina, then it was like, one of you guys get a touchdown.
It was Dr. Phil.
Yeah. But we both took the Commanders in this game. We both took the Commanders, giving up the 8 points in this game. 1-1. And the difference maker here was, Drew, you took the over in this
I thought
game.
it was the same pick. I really did.
I told you were crazy, and I took the under. So trifecta for Robbie. I don't
agree that I'm crazy. I'm just saying, like, that's just crazy there in general. So, next up, we got the Kansas City Chiefs going into San Francisco to play the 49ers. And they beat them, and without the refs' help this time. 28-18 at that point there. Taylor Swift is so happy. So you and I both...
He even wrote a song about it.
You and I both picked the Chiefs to win and to cover the 1.5 point spread at that point. I had the under, so that got me my trifecta, whereas you had the over. So slight difference in that part there, but yeah, we were both right on the pick and the over pick and the spread there. So
yeah, so close.
Yeah,
a point off, Reds. All right, well, up next you have Sunday Night Football. Sunday. Jets. We're going into Steel City playing
when you're
Steelers.
You're a Jet to the end.
Steelers were given 2 points in this
I
game.
just saw our viewership drop and they started singing.
Yeah. And then over under in this game was 38.5 points. And we both thought this was the coming home party. New interim head coach, Devontae Adams, possibility.
I thought one week of happiness for them.
Yeah. So we both took the Jets to win, Jets and spread. Drew, you took the under. I took the over, and the over was the only thing right about this game. The Steelers put a shellacking. Yeah. Put a shellacking on here. It's my God. Yeah, my God.
Yeah, so Rob is officially up right now. Oops, as we lose Rob, as he loses his chance to go ahead and gloat about this, he is officially up right now by 5 points. So, we'll see how that works out, but that would definitely take a good chunk of my lead I had there. I would still be in the lead by 7 points, but we still have a couple of games to go here, guys. So we'll give you guys, as of right now, 10:15 p.m. on Monday. You got the Ravens are up 27-10 in the third quarter against the Buccaneers, and at halftime, the Cardinals are up by 1.7-6 there, guys. So we'll let you guys know. We do our recap there where Rob and I end up officially for the week there. So again, guys, we will be live again for you Wednesday night doing our pregame show there, talking about the preview for the Steelers Monday night matchup we'll have coming up this week there, guys. Fair warning, we'll probably be very pessimistic, both because of last week and because the Giants suck on prime time. So is what it is. And then, of course, guys, we'll be back Thursday with our Week 8 picks. And again, going over recapping how we did exactly once those games are continued and finished as well. So appreciate you guys watching as always. As always, we are live every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, going over all the latest Giants news there for you at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we always do a post-game show as well. Now, this week coming up, Rob and I have to talk about what we're going to do because of the fact that, it can be a little difficult to do a post-game show and a recap show at the same time. So what we may have to do here is maybe do our recap show and then go ahead and do our post-game show on Monday. Just kind of put our thing down, flip it, and reverse it like Missy Elliott over here.
Ooh.
So that might be the best plan. Rob and I will talk about that. We'll confirm that Wednesday. But best bet to know when we're going live, guys, is always what?
Oh, hit the like, hit the subscribe.
Hit that
Ring that
subscribe.
bell.
Hit the
Ring
share
that bell.
button. Tell Fred we suck at marketing. We count on y'all. Appreciate you guys for watching as always. And like I said, we'll see you guys back Wednesday night here. And as always, Giant fans,
Go G-Man.
Go G-Man.
Thanks for listening to Two Giant Goofballs, a New York Giants podcast. We appreciate your support.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.